Welcome everyone to the deed transfer ceremony for Nobska Lighthouse. I'm Carissa April. I'm a proud member of the board of directors of the Friends of Nobska Light and a proud U.S. Coast Guard retiree. Hey! I also have with us today, with me at the podium, Jeff Thomas. He's U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, which deserves even bigger applause, perhaps. Volunteers, uniform volunteers. The last Coast Guard Auxiliary keeper before the Friends of Nobska Light became the stewards of this beautiful place in 2016. So Jeff has been keeping the watch here for longer than any of us. Please silence any of your noise-making devices and know that we are recording this program. FCTV is here today recording this program for viewing later. Now, please rise to give the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing to join the solstice singers in singing our national anthem. The flag is just there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. Yeah. I'm very pleased to introduce Kathy Walrath. Those who, if there's any possibility you haven't met her, here is Kathy Walrath, President of Friends of Nobska Light.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Carissa and Jeff and our solstice singers for joining us here today. I too welcome all of you to the Friends of Nobska Light. And whoever was in charge of this weather, thank you. It's amazing. We would have fit in the house, but it would have been a little bit tight. I do want to make one adjustment to the program before we get started. Congressman Keating has to catch a plane, and so upon his concluding of his remarks, we are going to proceed right to the deed, and then we'll have other remarks by dignitaries that are here after we do the transfer of the deed. It's an honor here to be joined by Congressman Keating, by Jack Richardson, who's representing Senator Fernandez, by Representative Thomas Moakley, our Assistant Town Manager, Peter Johnson-Staub, our past Senator, Suzanne Moran, and several of our Select Board members. We also have the honor of welcoming from the National Park Service, Laurel Racine, the Regional Commander, Glenn Rotondo from General Services Administration, and Captain Moon, who's the Sector Commander for the U.S. Coast Guard here in Woods Hole. Along with her, she brought several representatives from the Coast Guard sector. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. As I look around, I am impressed by those from our Board of Directors, our Advisory Board, many of our committees here at the Friends of Nobska Light, our docents and our staff, and other friends who have generously donated their time and their resources to our mission. These people are the heart of our organization, representing over 109 volunteers and over 2,400 constituents who have given to the Friends of Nobska Light. Today we all come together here to witness and to share a meal, as so many have done throughout history here at Nobska Point. Historians tell us that members of the Wampanoag tribe gathered here to picnic right along these shores and to launch their vessels out to the island over here, now known as Martha's Vineyard. Although the spelling is different, they provided the name Nobska, meaning the rocky ledge. We honor this land as the indigenous people have done before us and are proud to host this ceremony surrounded by the outcome of our work. A beautiful tower, well preserved, a rehabilitated keeper's house, and an accessible pathway that helps all of us ease our way up to this rocky ledge. We stand here today prepared to be the final keepers at Nobska, ready to bring life into this space, to share the rich maritime history through narratives, through art, through music, through dance, through science, and through collaborations with other organizations here in our community. Thank you all for being witness to this historic day. Thank you for all you have done in support of this deed transfer, and for all that you will do as we sustain and grow our operations. Again, as is tradition throughout history, I'm going to ask all of you to sign the inside cover of the deed as it is transferred to us today. As you approach the podium, or immediately after the program before you have your lunch. We will cherish this document as a symbol of this day and the great work we do together. Without further pause, please join me in welcoming Congressman Keating back to Nobska Light.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you. And Congressman, I'm going to invite you to be the first to sign.
Oh. Right here.
Where's my pen? Is gone? Yeah.
We're just doing names.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the friends that are here. The enormous effort. I was here 10 years ago when things were getting started, and that over 10,000 hours, volunteer hours that were there, the monies and the people that donated to this really was tribute to your hard work to see just how this has come about. To our friends, thank you to the Coast Guard, people that serve so well, current members, the retired members. They're such an integral part of our region here in our country, and all the work you're doing, both here and overseas, is really appreciated, keeping people safe. GSA is here, as well as another federal agency. Thank you for your work and working through this process. My colleagues in government, Senator Fernandez, represented by Jack Richardson, Representative Moakley, and former Representative Moran, all were part of this. The community people that are here, the Falmouth community, all part of making this beautiful scene possible. As I look at this stage, I'm looking back at other stages of the history here that I've come to know, and the initial decision back in 1828 to go forward with the building, the different times and the different stages of work that was done. In 1876, one section of it, the house, the other in 1905, still the tower in 1937. All these stages marked the growth of what was here. As with anything on Cape Cod, nothing gets built in one stage. Anyone that has a house here for any period of time recognizes that. And certainly, all those stages were important historically, and all had their meaning going forward. One of the important dates, really, I think, to look at was 1973, when the last civilian keeper of the light, I think it was Joseph Hindley, was here. And in all of New England, I think he was the last civilian to do that before the Coast Guard formally took over. And then, of course, in a sign of technology in the times, in '85, becoming automated, something we better get used to in our culture going forward. But 10 years ago, I made a comment about the importance of the keeper of the light, and the Friends took that as a slogan and carried that forward with enormous distinction. And as we look at the keepers of the light, we look at the last civilian keeper, we look at the Coast Guard as keepers. we are all keepers of the light. There's something fascinating, and that's, I think, why there was a National Lighthouse Preservation Act. There's something not just iconic, but that captures everyone's curiosity, imagination, inspires people about a lighthouse. And I think, at least from my own vantage point, I think I share that with so many, that the idea of coming, looking at an elevated area so that you can look beyond the horizon and the inspiration that gives us from the shore, but also the view from the waters, the marine view, the navigation view, the view of people that look at this beacon and have looked at it for so long a period of time, and they get reassurance, they get guidance, they get a sense that beyond that light is a community, and beyond the darkness and the rocks and the shoals, there's something there for them when they arrive. And I think as the theme of Keepers of the Light going forward, I think it's important to know that the work that the Friends did, all the work that was done over the years here, all those things will inspire another generation, new keepers of the light, who will come here. Students will come here, understand the history, understand our maritime history right here in Cape Cod. Will understand that and how it applies to our country's history. They'll be able to look forward to this and see a new horizon, to become inspired, to know that in their own education and their own appreciation of our history, that they can use that as a value tool looking at the future. These are the thoughts I had today. These are the thoughts that inspire all of us. And I just want to thank everyone that's here, anyone that's served here, anyone that's not with us, whose memory we remember, anyone who served here more recently, and the people that help keep this dream, keep this vision alive for generations to come, the Friends of Nobska Light. So thank you so much for what you did. This is truly an important part, not just of the Falmouth community, not just Cape Cod, but I think a national treasure. Thank you so much.
So at this time, I'd like to invite Laurel Racine up from the National Park Service. And Laurel, if you two could sign the deed for us.
My pleasure. I'll just take this out of the way.
Good morning. I'm Laurel Racine and am the Cultural Resource Manager for the Northeast region of the National Park Service. I'm very happy to be here today celebrating the successful transfer of Nobska Lighthouse through the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act program. This program recognizes the significance of historic lighthouses and ensures they remain accessible to the public by transferring them to state and local governments or nonprofit organizations for educational, recreational, cultural, or historic preservation purposes when they are no longer needed by their federal agency owners. It's a program built on strong interagency cooperation and local partnerships that make it possible to preserve these compelling structures for generations to come. Most people know the National Park System for its incredible landscapes and iconic sites. More than 85 million acres across every state, the District of Columbia, American Samoa, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. It includes national parks, monuments, battlefields, historic sites, lake shores, seashores, recreation areas, scenic rivers, and trails. But what is less widely known is that the National Park Service also supports the preservation of cultural resources outside of federal ownership through programs like the National Historic Landmarks Program, National Register of Historic Places, National Heritage Area System, and the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act, or NHLPA. None of this would be possible without robust partnerships like those represented here today. For over 20 years, the National Park Service has worked collaboratively with the General Services Administration, the U.S. Coast Guard, and state historic preservation offices around the country to carry out the NHLPA program. So far, within the Northeast region alone, that's Maine to Virginia, 30 lighthouses have been transferred at no cost to state and local governments and nonprofit organizations. The National Park Service works closely with GSA during the process, reviewing applications for ownership, recommending entities for transfer, and monitoring the condition and use of these sites in perpetuity. But what truly sustains this program are the connections between these places and their communities. It is the dedication of citizens and organizations that make preservation possible. This program's popularity jumped after being featured on national television. And it's no wonder. Who wouldn't want to own and care for a historic lighthouse? But becoming the new owner of a lighthouse is no simple task. The application process is very demanding. It must include a master plan for the site's future, with detailed strategies for its preservation and maintenance, use, financing, and management. Every application undergoes a rigorous committee review. They are debated, scored, and often sent back for revisions before they can be approved. It is rare for an applicant to succeed on the first try without significant changes required to meet program conditions. That makes today especially meaningful. The organization behind this application, with nearly a decade of experience caring for this lighthouse, has demonstrated its ability to preserve, maintain, and manage the Nobska Lighthouse to benefit the public now and into the future. Those of us involved in historic preservation know how challenging this work can be, especially in a marine environment. It requires time, resources, hard work, and most of all, the collaboration and commitment of dedicated citizens and organizations. Just as important as protecting the structures themselves is preserving and sharing the stories connected to them. Stories that link past to present and remind us of the people and experiences that shaped this place. The National Park Service, through the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act program, is proud to support these efforts. I congratulate the Friends of Nobska Light and this community. Thank you for your years of commitment, your perseverance, and for caring about this place and our shared heritage. I now formally state that the National Park Service Review Committee recommended that the Friends of Nobska Light be the new stewards of Nobska Light and should receive the deed to the property. The Secretary of the Interior approved the recommendation. I request the General Services Administration transfer the deed to the Friends of Nobska Light. And I'll turn things over to Commissioner Rotondo.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
And while I signed today, the more important GSA signature is from John Kelly, our zone director through the Northeast, who signed the deed. John oversees 1/4 of the country and lighthouses throughout the Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. He's conveyed well over 100 lighthouses to groups. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Glenn Rotondo. I am the Regional Commissioner for Public Buildings for the U.S. General Services Administration's New England region. And we are proud to take part of this transfer of the lighthouse to the Friends of Nobska Light. Kathy, the Friends of Nobska Light should be proud of your stewardship of this lighthouse today, to date. And this conveyance will ensure that generations are able to enjoy this historic landmark and learn about our maritime heritage. We are proud to work with the United States Coast Guard and the National Park Service under the National Historic Lighthouse Preservation Act to convey these properties to groups just like the National Friends of Nobska Light, who are here to make this available for generations to come. Thank you very much, and I will bring up Captain Moon from the United States Coast Guard. Captain?
Thank you.
So, good morning, Senator Keating, Senator Fernandez, Representatives Vera Moakley, Town Manager. I think Mr. Renshaw was supposed to be here. Good morning, everyone. It is a distinct honor and a privilege to stand before you today at this historic location, Nobska Lighthouse. We gather not only to celebrate a beautiful landmark, but to commemorate a significant milestone in its enduring legacy, the official conveyance of Nobska Lighthouse to the Friends of Nobska Lighthouse. As Senator Keating shared, for over 140 years, Nobska Lighthouse has stood sentinel, a beacon of hope and guidance for mariners navigating the treacherous waters of Vineyard Sound, Buzzards Bay, and Nantucket Sound. Its light has illuminated countless journeys, protecting ships and seafarers from the perils of sea. This steadfast service has earned Nobska a place of deep respect in maritime history and a special place in the hearts of this very community. The United States Coast Guard has been a proud steward of Nobska Lighthouse for decades. The Coast Guard's commitment to protecting our nation's waterways extends beyond the tangible. It encompasses the preservation of our maritime heritage. However, saving lives is our expertise, not so much saving old buildings. So today we witness the next chapter in Nobska's story. This transfer reflects a shared vision and dedication to ensuring Nobska's enduring legacy. The Friends of Nobska Lighthouse have demonstrated an exceptional commitment to its restoration, preservation, and also public accessibility. Their passion and expertise will undoubtedly ensure that Nobska continues to strive as a cherished historical landmark and vibrant center for community engagement. This deed conveyance represents powerful collaboration between the United States Coast Guard, the state of Massachusetts, the National Park Service, GSA, the town of Falmouth, and our maritime community. And now, most importantly, the Friends of Nobska Lighthouse. It is a testament to the collective power of partnership and a shared commitment to preserving our national heritage. And as we look upon this iconic structure, let us remember the countless lives it has impacted, the happy stories it has witnessed, from engagements to promotions to marriages to retirements, and the enduring spirit it embodies. May the light of Nobska continue to guide us, inspire us, and remind us of the enduring power of community, collaboration, and a deep respect for our shared heritage. We are confident that the Friends of Nobska Lighthouse will be excellent stewards, carrying this legacy forward. Thank you. So I think at this time, thank you. So I get the honor of actually handing the deed over to the Friends of Nobska Lighthouse. Yep. We're in this together. Oh.
Bear with us as our board of directors also signs the cover of the deed. Please be seated. I now welcome Thomas Moakley, Jack Richardson, and Peter Johnson Staub to come forward. And gentlemen, as you come forward, please also sign the book for us. Thomas?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here alongside so many other public servants. I want to thank those who are serving in uniform as well as all of you here who have served in uniform before. This is a place of selfless service. From the time that it was operated by civilians, the time that it was operated by the Coast Guard, and on to the nonprofit that's represented here by the board of the Friends of Nobska Lighthouse, and all of you who have volunteered your time, who've donated to the cause, all those whose names are represented here on the bricks throughout the entire process, which has been mentioned, has spanned many, many years and has taken so many hours of dedicated service to the notion that this should be preserved, accessible to everyone in the hands of the community here. So I'm delighted to be here on alongside former Senator and our Clerk of Courts, Susan Moran, Select Board members Bob Miscali, Doug Brown, Colin Reed, our Chamber President, Michael Kasparian, Select Board member Jack Richardson, and our Town Manager, who's going to speak in a bit. I'm also here on behalf of my colleague, Senator Dylan Fernandez, as well as Representative David Vieira, who I have the pleasure of sharing Falmouth with, represented by his aide as well, Amanda Braga-Tipton, who is a veteran herself. I also have the pleasure of representing Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. So having this as not only the selfie center of Falmouth, probably one of the most popular things that you'll see in the background of anything with the geotag Falmouth on it. But it's also a representation of that passion that it took to get here. And that's what guides my neighbors here in Falmouth home and what guides my constituents over to the Vineyard and Gosnold as well. And that's going to be something that lasts for 100 years and more. So thank you for all of you who were part of it over the course of the many years. I also want to give credit to my predecessors, Eric Turkington, Tim Madden, and of course Dylan Fernandez as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Moakley. Round of applause for the view. I mean, the weather and the view, this is what Cape Cod is. But more importantly, when people ask what it's like to grow up on the Cape, it's really about the community. And as all of our speakers before me said, Friends of Falmouth, Friends of Nobska Light, and the lighthouse itself is truly an example of that. Everyone was saying, where were they 10 years ago? And I looked before. So I was 12 10 years ago, but, my father used to take me here all the time in the fall and in the winter. And, we'd look out at the sunset and over the sound and the trail down there, which I saw some folks using. And it's so important at a time where the Cape is becoming more and more unaffordable that we keep things like this in the hands of the community. So I'm here today on behalf of Senator Fernandez, and I have a citation from the Senate. We wanted to honor the Friends of Nobska Light for their work over the last 10 years under your stewardship, Kathy. So I'm just going to read it briefly. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Friends of Nobska Light in recognition of today's deed transfer ceremony to the Friends of Nobska Light and their dedicated stewardship and preservation of this historic beacon. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be only signed by the President of the Senate and attested to blah, 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 blah. Signed by President of the Senate, Karen Spilka, Clerk of the Senate, Michael Hurley, and Senator Dylan Fernandez. So this is just a citation for you and your board. Feel free to put it.
Good morning. I'm Peter Johnson-Staub, Assistant Town Manager. Town Manager Mike Renshaw sends his regrets. He had a conflicting event this morning. So in 2022, I believe it was, the Coast Guard announced it was going to be transferring the property to a new owner. And I began communicating with Kathy Walrath and the members of the Friends to explore the options in terms of future ownership. By that point, we had an established public-private partnership where the Friends were operating under a license agreement with the town, and the town had a lease with the Coast Guard. And admittedly, at that point, I was only superficially aware of what was going on here, which was the first good sign, because that meant there was no controversy, no drama, no problems. As we began looking into these options and trying to figure out what would be best for the future of this incredibly important community asset. I became just quickly impressed with the professionalism and competence evidenced by Kathy. And also beyond Kathy, the Friends group has gone through multiple leadership, which is a good sign of continuity and resilience. And as we looked at it more and more, it just became apparent that we had the opportunity to continue an outstanding public-private partnership, one led by the Friends owning this property outright with multiple benefits for the town. One, they had established that they had already dramatically improved the asset physically, thanks to their fundraising, their cadre of volunteers. And the town manager and I, it was not a difficult decision for us to support the Friends to own the facility, and the select board likewise. They did not need any convincing because of the track record that the Friends had already established. So I just could not be more proud of the Falmouth community for stepping forward with sweat equity and leadership to take control of this asset, make it better, and ensure that it is available for generations to come. So congratulations.
I now invite one of our board members, Karen Falcone, to come forward for our closing remarks.
Good afternoon. Today signifies far more than the transfer of just the deed. It affirms the enduring commitment of the Friends of Nobska Light to safeguard this treasured landmark and preserve its historical legacy for generations to come. On behalf of the board, I wish to extend a proud and profound gratitude to all who have contributed to making this transfer possible. As a record of this occasion, we invite you to sign the deed folder as witnesses to this important moment in Nobska's history. Following the ceremony, you are cordially invited to join us for refreshments. And at this time, I ask you please rise for the closing blessing, which will be offered by Reverend Fields.
Please join me in the spirit of prayer. God of many names, we thank you. We thank you for this day, for this gathering of community, for this beloved lighthouse that has watched over these waters for generations. We give you thanks for those who built it, for those who served here as light keepers, and for those who now tend and maintain this structure with care. We ask for your blessing and protection upon Nobska Light and all that it represents. May its beam continue to shine as a steadfast sign of guidance, safety, and hope. May its light assure us that even in the darkest night or the fiercest storm, there is always a way forward. And may it remind all who pass by that its beauty and history are preserved by a community that treasures this lighthouse as both a faithful witness to our past and a beacon for our future. We pray in the name of all that is holy, all that is light, all that is love. Amen. And for all of you here, may you experience fair winds and following seas.
We'll remind you of the tune, and then you can sing it with us again.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for